Hello, everyone. Welcome back from lunch. I hope you had a chance to enjoy some good food and some good conversation with colleagues and meeting new colleagues as well. I'm going to get started in the interest of time. I'm Sonya Eremenco, Executive Director of the Patient-Centered Evidence Consortium, and I'm presenting our consortium update. So first and foremost, if anyone doesn't recognize the name of the consortium, I just wanted to make you all aware we rebranded in November of last year from the Patient-Reported Outcome Consortium that many of you knew for over a decade, 15 years or so. And but we rebranded to really reflect a new identity, a new direction, new mission, and I'll be talking a little bit more about those as I go forward. But historically, we have a long history building on the legacy of the PRO Consortium, formed in 2008, public-private partnership between CEDAR and pharmaceutical industry. We currently have 25 members, and we also work in collaboration with other groups, representatives of government, clinical consultants, patients, academic institutions, and contract research organizations. Here's our membership. I want to thank all of them. I don't know if all of them are here today, but thank you all for your participation and support over the years. It's been really fruitful to work with each of you over these years. So this is our new mission, to maximize the impact of patient-centered evidence on drug development, regulatory access, and treatment decision-making through rigorous scientific methods, standards, and multi-stakeholder collaboration. So, one of the biggest things that this new mission reflects is that, while we continue to do qualification, and I'll still talk about qualification and some of the work we're doing in that arena, but we really wanted to branch out beyond qualification and beyond just regulatory to really bring the type of work that we do, the expertise that we have, to the HTA payer space and even to clinicians and patients in the treatment decision-making process. So our objectives are to advance COA and PED measurement science through methodological innovation, data standardization and harmonization initiatives, to promote the application of patient-centered evidence in regulatory access and treatment decision-making through education, development and dissemination of industry best practices, and stakeholder engagement. And last but not least, collaboratively deliver fit-for-purpose COAs, inclusive of DHT-derived COAs, to address unmet measurement needs, pursue regulatory endorsement to support endpoints, and facilitate adoption to elevate the patient perspective in drug development decision-making. So, as I mentioned, we have a long history from the days of PRO Consortium. I'm just going to quickly let you know some updates to our working groups that completed their initial goal, which was essentially qualification or acceptance of a COA for specific context of use. So as of end of March, we have a total of 246 licenses issued across these 5 therapeutic areas, and it continues to grow by the day. We're extremely proud to share that DIB-C, which is actually one of our more recent qualifications, is now being licensed. We've got 2 licenses already in the past year, and it's continuing to grow. For our asthma measure, we're seeing increase in licensing. We now have 30 licenses total since its qualification. Our non-small cell lung cancer measure is our most licensed measure to date, over 124 licenses across phases of trials and even registries. And this is a new, I'll say quotes new. It's a publication we became aware of in the past few months, so I'm sharing it to kind of help further dissemination around this measure, because we know how important it is to get that measurement, the meaningful change and the measurement properties disseminated. So thanks to Lily for this publication, because we really think it's going to help move the field forward. For our SMDDS, 21 licenses since qualification. And last but not least, myelofibrosis version 4. So what we're extremely proud of with this measure is that not only do we have a lot of publications, it's being widely used, over 68 licenses, it's been included in a registry, It's also been included in labeling. So, and it's not only FDA labeling. So I know that's always our priority, but we're extremely proud to find that it's been included in across a number of regulatory agencies in the past few years. FDA, EMA, PMDA, Health Canada, and MHRA. And so this was for a new indication for myelofibrosis with anemia, but it really reflects the importance of this consensus harmonized measure that's now being used consistently across drug companies and really making an impact on drug development. So these are our measures available for licensing. We have a licensing website that I think many of you are now familiar with. It provides availability of translations, item content, publications, and I want to mention a couple of new measures that are listed that are not fully available yet, but they're coming soon. So we decided to make the functional dyspepsia measure and the DIBS-M measure available for licensing. So these are going to be coming to the measurement site very soon, and they'll be available for licensing with additional documentation. I also wanted to talk about some new consortium efforts that we launched since last year. So, and this goes hand in hand with our new mission. So we wanted to work towards developing resources that will help our members internally around engaging sponsor stakeholders on the value of COAs. So we've got a number of initiatives that we've started around that. It's a very strong working group. We've got 3 different work streams plus kind of an overarching project. So we're developing an overview of development and validation of fit-for-purpose PRO measures that are really meant to educate colleagues internally around how PROs develop and COAs and why they're so important. And then there's work being done around site and patient experience and perceived burden, resources to highlight the importance of early planning to maximize the opportunity for success with PRO measures and other COAs. And then we're also exploring resources to support COA dossier development, because we've heard a lot about that already. We've launched a working group for engagement with regulatory stakeholders, and we're also planning later this year to launch a working group around engagement with value assessment stakeholders. And so I'm just going to go through some highlights of some of our ongoing consortium efforts with qualification. So the ones in gold/yellow are the ones that I'll be touching on today. Chronic heart failure. Very proud to announce that our chronic heart failure qualification plan for the CHF-SS was accepted by FDA last November 15th, and that is now enabling us to move forward with analyses of our quantitative data that we have in hand, and it'll be the next step towards qualification. For our depression working group, we are conducting additional qualitative research with the SMDDD. That's the daily diary derivative of the SMDDS, and that study startup is in progress, and we're looking forward to launch very soon. Irritable bowel syndrome. We're also really happy to share that we are on the cusp of being ready to submit our full qualification package for the DIBS-D, which is the variation of the measure that's specific to diarrhea predominant IBS. So the package is ready, we're getting the last things done, and we're hoping to get that submitted this quarter. So that'll be our third qualification in a year. The other 2 submissions are that qualification, third submission for qualification. So we had 2 major submissions in the last year for multiple sclerosis. For those of you who have been following this progress, we're very proud to share that our fatigue measure our fatigue package was submitted last July, and our physical function package was submitted just a few months ago in February. So we're eagerly awaiting feedback from FDA on reviewability of these submissions and next steps towards qualification. And for our rheumatoid arthritis, that's the one that was submitted a few years back for qualification. And we had a very busy year last year. We completed 5 information requests for FDA on that package, and we are eagerly awaiting an update from them on the status of that submission. So that's what's been keeping us busy for the last few years, or for the last few months. So I want to say that for those of you who might remember in the old days, we used to print our posters and post them on the walls or post them in the reception room where as we said, we're paper free now. So the posters are available in the app, and they will be available on the website after the meeting. So if there was a working group that I didn't cover in my little update, you can please look up the poster. There's a lot more detail about the status, about the recent activities, and next steps for each poster. So all 8 of the working groups have a poster for your review. So this kind of summarizes our path toward qualification. And we're still kind of in that same place with the 1 FQP undergoing review, hopefully close to finishing review. As I mentioned earlier, we have our 2 FQPs that were submitted. We have 3 QPs accepted in various stages of the next step. And then we did not submit any QPs in the last year. So the 3 QPs in the reviewability assessment stage are from previous years. And then I want to highlight our publications. So we do a lot of work around, and this goes back to the industry best practices, disseminating standards, and that kind of work. And we've been working towards categorizing our publications to help guide those who are interested in to know what type of publication they are. So we have a methods publication on establishing estimates of meaningful change for digital endpoints. We have several in the best practice arena, related to everything from different aspects of translation, linguistic validation, and also, sorry, I'm having trouble reading this slide, work that we did in conjunction with CISAQOL, that was on best practices for analysis and reporting of PROs in oncology. And then, sorry, I'm going to look over here. Yep, so that one is more of a review. That was the last one. So we're really excited about all the different work that we've been doing across the space, and we heard one of the publications reported this morning on the event-driven e-diaries, and that was really an important effort jointly between our 2, the COA Consortium and the PRO Consortium. So this is a snapshot of our accomplishments to date at a high level. So we've got a total of 14 LOIs accepted by FDA, 8 qualification plans from those LOIs accepted. We've got 6 measures qualified or accepted by FDA, 2 of which have been in labeling, as I mentioned earlier. The other one that's been in labeling, for those who may not recall, is the DIP-C. 55 publications to date and 246 licenses to date. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share this update with all of you. Thank you for your support and partnership along the way. And I'd want to welcome you to join us on the journey to achieve our goals for 2026 and beyond. So more information is available at the website. Thanks so much.